Is it possible to sound confident in your English with limited vocabulary? Well, it is 100% possible to stay and sound confident in your English with limited vocabulary. But there are certain steps that you need to take while you want to sound confident in your English and you want to sound more natural. What are those steps? I will tell you 5 different steps and the things that you need to do in your day-to-day English speaking with real people, or while you are speaking English with your partners, to practice English in a better way. What are those 5 steps? I'll give you the first step and I'll start with it. The first step is you have to speak slowly, not very fast. Well, lots of people end up making this mistake. Lots of learners are there who end up making this mistake. They try to speak very fast. This really creates issues in ending up making mistakes in your grammar. Why does it happen? Because when you try to speak fast with limited vocabulary, there will be situations where you will get stuck and try to look for the suitable word, which is most of the time not going to be possible because you have limited vocabulary. So it is always better to speak as slowly as possible, but not as slowly to affect the fluency of the language. So you have to speak with slow pace, but at the same time you have to keep your mind towards the content of the topic that you are going to speak. Point number 2 is you have to use clear and short sentences. Well, in English, lots of structures are available. Long and complex sentences are available, but you don't have to pay your attention towards all those complex and long structured sentences. You always have to speak with clear and short sentences. It will help you to speak English more naturally and confidently. Point number 3 is you have to give pause while you are speaking. If you don't pause while you are speaking, then you will end up making uses of different types of fillers like these things. So you have to get rid of the fillers. Fillers are not considered to be good while you are speaking any language, be it your native language. If you speak fillers so many times, so of course it is not a good sign for you as a good speaker. So you always have to avoid using fillers, and the best way to avoid using fillers is pause. You have to pause wherever you feel it's required. That is a very crucial point for you to remember if you really want to sound more confident and natural in your English speaking with limited vocabulary. Point number 4 is you have to repeat the strong words. What do I mean by that? Repetition should not be in such a way that the listener may start getting irritated. Repetition simply means whenever you feel, okay, this is something which is very important. Now you can say this is important. You can say, okay, this is very important. You can say this is very necessary. So you can replace with certain words if you really have knowledge of that particular replacement with a different vocabulary, or you can use very just to give good emphasis to that particular sentence. So repeat the strong sentences, strong expressions, but don't over repeat, because it will eventually affect the fluency and the expressions of your language. And the last and the 5th point is you have to speak out loud and you have to read something aloud. This is really going to help you when you have to relax yourself in your speaking, or you have to relax your tongue. If you read something aloud, basically it relaxes your tongue in such a way that you become more comfortable and natural in pronouncing different sentences and words, and it also gives you the practice when it comes to even using complex sentences gradually. Because you have limited vocabulary, now if you want to upgrade yourself, so you have to read something aloud. For example, if you have to read newspapers, so you have to try your level best if the environment suits you, and if you feel that if you read something aloud from the newspaper and it's not going to disturb anybody, so they should not miss the opportunity to read the content aloud. This will really help you to speak your language even in a better way. And this is a very practical thing, because even I have done this in my English learning journey, and I, being a trainer, I always tell my learners that they should also incorporate this particular reading aloud thing in their learning journey. So I hope these 5 steps are going to be helpful for you in your English learning journey. Hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.